Thank you so much for tuning in. We have an excellent panel of speakers on this webinar for all of you. I'll try to be very quick, and also I'll try to have our speakers speak more rather than the moderator. So quickly about me, I'm Nimra Hussain. I'm the founder for Women in Energy in Pakistan. We're extremely thrilled to collaborate with Engro Energy for Engro Enablers Energy Edition. So this webinar is part of the recruitment drive. Quickly about the Engro Enablers Energy Edition. It is a one-year-long program for females looking for opportunity to be a part of an accelerated and challenging experience, specifically designed for the placement of females to develop them into future leaders through exposure to multiple roles across business at sites. And the eligibility is very clear. So a bachelor's degree is a minimum requirement, completed undergraduate within the last 2 years, as well as graduated from anywhere in Pakistan. So the deadline is 29th October. Having said that, we wanted to make the best use of the last few days that we have before the deadline to hear from these amazing, amazing women who work at Engro, and we'll have them give more details about what they're doing. The reason that we're doing this is that we wanted to have a candid conversation amongst ourselves, and we wanted to make sure that we cover all the areas that the employees at Engro sort of go through their experience, what they get out of their experience of working at Engro. So having said that, I'm gonna go around the room and have each of the speakers introduce themselves. I think that's more exciting rather than a monotone from myself. So I'll start with Dr. Fatma Khusnood. She's General Manager, Business Development at Engro. So would you like to share a little bit about your experience at Engro, or just your introduction, and then we'll move on to the questions later.
Sure. Thank you so much, Nimra. Hello, everyone. This is Fatima. So I've been with Engro for the past year and a half now. So I would say I'm relatively new to the Engro family. I joined on 1st April 2020. Prior to that, I've experience in banking, telecom, tourism, development sector. I would say the last job that I was doing before joining Engro was I was heading Independent Power Producers Association, which was a small think tank working for the interest of the IPPs. At Engro, as Nimra has already mentioned, my functional designation is GM Business Development. Apart from that, I am also the head of policy and research for the Engro Energy Limited, which makes me wear 2 hats at the same time. And for this very reason, I'm based in Islamabad because the policy happens in Islamabad. So that a bit about me, and then more once Nimra throws her questions. Thank you.
Excellent. Sorry, I think there was I was stuck for a few seconds. And quickly sort of moving on to the next question for you. What is it like working in the energy sector, and what advice would you give to aspiring female fresh graduates who want to make a career?
Great. Okay. So just like I mentioned very briefly that I have not been in energy from the very start of my career. I started off as a banker. At that time, I think the most fancy job was to be part of the banking sector, and there I was with an MBA, looking to have an aspiring career with banking. But as things turned out quite differently, I moved on from banking to telecom, and then decided to improve my qualifications, take a step back, did my MS Applied Finance, and then did my PhD. And then after my PhD, there was a myth attached that 1, being a woman, and 2, being a PhD, the only suitable place for me is academics. So ideally, I should be part of a university. I should be teaching and doing my research work, as that gives you the perfect balance in your personal and professional life. However, I think once I came back from my PhD from Australia, I was pretty sure that I'm going to break this myth and make sure that I work in the industry, and that too, not just work, but change this perception that women, especially with a PhD, cannot only be confined to universities, but to the mainstream sector. And then energy. I think initially the way it happened was when I came back from my PhD, I was very much looking forward to work for the development sector, and then privatization commission was where I got my first breakthrough. I was hired as a World Bank consultant because my PhD is in corporate finance. So I thought they'll be placing me in that. But quite contrary to that, they actually put me into the privatization of distribution companies. And at that time, I had no idea of the energy sector. I was only as much educated about energy sector as any normal professional would be. But thereon, I think when I was put into there, one, I took it as a challenge initially, but while I was doing it, I started enjoying. And what I realized was that energy sector, especially at that time, there were not much women, especially in the privatization commission. I was the only female consultant hired, and there were a lot of hurdles or challenges, like a very petty thing, but they were not. One, privatization commission was not used to having women there. There were not separate restroom facilities for women, but that did not really stop me in pursuing what I was pursuing. And this is what I wanted to highlight here as well, to all the aspiring women or the girls who are listening to me, that rather than taking these small hurdles uh, as something which would demotivate us or discourage us, take it as challenge accepted. And that's precisely what I did. So it didn't really bother me that I was the only female. It didn't really bother me that I had to share the restroom facilities. I had to make sure that my presence is felt. And I think what really worked for me, which I generally say very common, uh, the mindset that I had was of an individual working in the energy sector. I made sure that I leave my gender at home. And frankly speaking, this sounds really odd, but that's something which really helped me in my career all these years. Coming to Angro is like, I would say it's like a dream working place for women. You would not find any organization, at least around 18 plus years experience I have. I've never found an organization as considerate, as mindful, and as forthcoming towards women needs as Anglo is. So it's frankly something that one would instantly fall in love with, because when your workplace acknowledges your needs and everything, I think there's nothing better than that. So my real advice would be one. Although it's a challenging sector, you don't find much women at the higher cadres, but frankly, that's an opportunity, because then it has space for women to be part of such sectors. Two, make sure that you outshine based on your talent and not on your woman card. Three, coming to Anglo would be the best thing that can happen to you, because you will be taken care of like the most pampered person around, because although there's no compromise on talent, and I would like to emphasize on that Anglo doesn't compromise on talent, but once they hire talent, they make sure that they treat them to the best, and you will feel that at Anglo. So looking forward to have most of you there. Thank you, Nimra.
Thank you so much. That was excellent. And I'll quickly move on to our next speaker, Ekta Setani. She's General Manager, Internal Audit, and she's based at the head office in Karachi. So my question to you is, how would you describe the culture of Engro Energy, and what is the best thing about working at Engro Energy? Over to you.
Thank you, Nimra, and thank you, Nimra and Aisha, for having this session and inviting all of us to speak about what's going on at Engro Energy. First of all, I'll introduce myself. So my name is Ekta Setani, and I've joined Engro Energy since last 1.5 years, quite the same timing as Fatma did. And before this, I've been working in different finance and audit roles in other companies, Philip Morris International to be precise. And before that, obviously, since I'm an accountant, I've also worked in some of the audit firms. So yeah, it's been a year and a half since I joined Engro Energy, and since we're talking about culture, the way I would explain the culture at Engro Energy is that it's open and it's enabling. And I'll explain why I'm saying that in my next few examples or the statements that I make. So first of all, what I look for in the culture of an organization as an individual is that there should be equal respect for everyone, no matter what gender you are. There should be no superiority or inferiority in terms of roles and who's what and who's doing, who's senior and who's junior. There should be rewards and recognition and recruitments based on talent and performance, and that should be the main criteria. There should be open and honest communication in terms of if you have any concerns, if you want to approach the higher management, there's an open door policy. So these are the things that matter the most to me. And I found Engro Energy to be a perfect example to display all of these. There is, I'm sure most of you know that there is obviously a bigger, a lot of emphasis on improving the diversity and inclusion. And Aisha is working on a very important set of guidelines on how to improve that, and we're working and we're going in a very right direction, and we made amazing improvements over the last 1.5 years or even 2 years since we initiated it. So from that perspective, it's pretty good, and Engro Energy gives you the enabling environment to show your performance. There is no discrimination based on your gender. Everything happens based on your performance and your talent, and I think that's what every woman wants when you join an organization. And the most important thing for me is any organization's culture. So I speak honestly when I talk to all of you who are listening to us and who are interested in joining the organization, is that I've come from a multinational organization, and I did not see any difference in the culture that Engro provides or any multinational provides, and I speak based on my experience. So that's one important message that I wanted to give. Second thing being, you asked me what is the most amazing thing of working at Engro Energy. First of all, working at Engro is an amazing experience itself, overall the Engro group, because if you see the mission statement for Engro, we talk about addressing the pressing issues of Pakistan, energy being one of them. And I think that is one very important thing that spoke to me when I was trying to apply for a role here, or was trying to move here. Being able to help the people of Pakistan, I think that's what all of us want, and that's one main thing that every one of us should be interested in, and all the people who are interested in applying. Secondly, coming back to Engro Energy, what's the best thing working here? I think since the time I've joined, even though I've joined in a COVID lockdown situation, but since my first day in this organization, I've always felt being part of a bigger family. So Engro Energy does have a very welcoming culture, very family oriented. You will not if you are in problem, everyone will come out and support you. If you need any kind of help, everyone will be out there. And I can speak this very confidently, because when I joined, we were going through a very difficult phase, and that was of being in a pandemic, and the kind of efforts in Engro Energy and the management did for its employees. And even after that, the way we support each other in coming out of the pandemic and making sure everyone is fine. We take care of each other in terms of the health, any other support that is needed. In this difficult situation, that's always been there. So I think that is one very important thing, and that's the highlight of working at Engro Energy. Performance, talent is something that every organization can provide, but what's more important for me as an individual is the culture. So yeah, that's from my side.
Excellent. Thank you so much. After this, I'll move on to Sabine Shah. I see her on my screen. Sabine, are you here? Excellent. So Sabine is Manager CSR Education. Was based at the site for around years. She's been managing and overseeing operations for 24 schools in Third Desert while developing and implementing primary level curriculum and resourcing resourcefully carrying out school development plans by using best fit practices. So that's enough from my side. Sabine, I'm going to ask you a question. How do you think Engro Energy has played a role in uplifting Thar and Pakistan? And what would you say is the one project closest to your heart, which you had the opportunity to work on at Thar, and why?
Right. Thank you very much, Nimra. I'm basically stationed here in Tharpakar at the moment. I'm looking after the CSR part of Thar Foundation, and the part that I'm actually looking after is education. So when you talk of how this project has actually helped Pakistan and Engro, let me tell you one thing, that I'm proud to be a part of this project for the mere reason that this is the first public-private partnership that is very, very successful. And not only is it successful, but it's been actually replicated in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, in Balochistan, and as well as Punjab. So, whenever people are talking of public-private partnership, Thar Foundation's example is given, throughout the country and even internationally. So, as far as Pakistan is concerned and Engro is concerned, I feel that this project, which has taken care of the people in such a way. Let me just give you a brief background. We're actually mining coal over here, and we are contributing towards producing 660 megawatts of energy, which is going to the national. So we're contributing to in the national grid 660 megawatts of energy. Now, this is again, being distributed throughout the country. Our project is the first project where we do not call up, the people of the who've been hit by this project. They're not affectees, but they're beneficiaries. And how are they being called beneficiaries? For the mere reason that they're not only a partner in the entire, project. The best thing is that we have been able to empower our communities, break all barriers. CSR has 6 legs. So I'm looking after the education one, and through education, we're actually trying to break all norms, empower girls through sports. We are empowering them by helping them pursue their secondary education. And in addition to that, we are also ensuring that the project is sustainable. So the project is sustainable because we are hiring, locals over here. So even as far as teachers are concerned, we are not only, training them, but we are also ensuring that there is growth for them. There's professional growth for them. We are giving them trainings from Karachi, from different parts of the country. We've also started MTB MLE, which is a mother tongue based multilingual education. What is going to happen with our children over here through this program is that they would be, over a course of 10 years, they would be acquiring 4 languages. So they'll be fluent in spoken and written Sindhi, Urdu, English, and Dhatki. Dhatki is the mother tongue over here, the language of the land over here. In addition to that, we've got different projects also going on, which is livelihood, small and medium enterprises. The project that you said, you basically asked me what project was very dear to me. It's of course education, because I truly believe that it is going to be through education that the generations over here are going to change, and they will be very soon. I'm hoping in about 10 years' time, we would be seeing people, the locals, our children, our school children, actually coming and helping us out in expanding the project, in being a part of this project. And then in the next 15 to 16 years, after they've acquired their university education, they would be coming and sitting in our positions, which I think is going to be a very big achievement. Our slogan over here is Thar Badlega Pakistan. But I would say for the last 2 to 3 years, the slogan has definitely changed, and it is now Thar Badal Raha Hai Pakistan. I see a lot of children now giving priority to education. Currently, we have 4,061 students studying in our Thar Foundation schools. We've got over 126 teachers, over 56 non-teaching staff, and all of them are a part of Thar Foundation, which is basically which is running projects which are truly sustainable. So for the next 60 to 70 years, or maybe 100 years, these people will be finding their places over here, and not only will their lifestyles improve through education, but they'd be occupying very important positions over here. Secondly, as far as barriers are broken, we have empowered women. The tradition over here was that women were not allowed to, move out of their houses. So even if they were supposed to invite somebody over for dinner or lunch, the tradition was that they would just make food at home and send it to their homes. Now, what has happened over here is that we've tried to, break those norms, and we've invited women over to each other's house. And we started off with sehri and iftari. So, through this, actually, not only did the men folk agree to sending these women outside of their homes, but now that has become a tradition, or it's become a norm over here, that women can easily freely move about and visit each other's homes, and if they want to have dinners or lunches, they can visit each other's homes. In addition to that, women were not allowed to be a part of school management committees. So what we did was we made a policy over here where we said that 50% of the women will have to be a part of the SMC, otherwise the SMC will not be functional. So school management committees are committees which actually empower men and women both to oversee the work of the schools, the be a partner in policy making of the schools, the rules and regulations. And believe me that these people, the parents especially, and especially the women folk, have played such an active role that they are the ones who come and tell us how to improve the standards of the school and of the education itself.
Excellent. Thank you so much. On to our next speaker, Varsha Vitani. She's the Assistant Manager, Human Resources. She's been based at her site since the last 2.5 years, coordinating between the head office service delivery team and the site business functions to ensure timely recruitment. So, Varsha, if I can direct my question to you, what are some of the challenges that you have faced working at Thursite, and what is the one project closest to your heart which you had the opportunity to work on at Thur, and do explain why?
Hi, Nimra. Challenge at site is to adapt and adjust to the site dynamics. Apart from this, we have this rotation thing that we have to follow, like different rotations. So pre-COVID, it was like 14/7 rota. During COVID, it was like 21/21, and post-COVID, it would be like 15/13. So you have to really adjust yourselves according to rota, and that is quite a task. Apart from this, you have to be the most important challenge that I feel is that you have to be very considerate and very mindful, because at site, we have people from different backgrounds, they talk in different languages, they are different ethnicities. So you have to be really aware, and you have to be really mindful when you are dealing them, because at site, we don't have people from Engro, but we have people from different communities, we have third-party contractors. So we have to be really careful that whether they are able to understand you, whether they are able to, they are comfortable with the environment. So as an HR, I have to be really mindful of not only having a, having a very proper thing for the SCCMC employees, but we have to be very mindful of the community as well. As far as my project is concerned, I feel I have led a women numbers driving program. And in third, like, it was very difficult for ladies to come out of their home and start working with us. So out of, like, we have trained 65 females, and out of these 65 females, we have 25 females who are working as dump truck drivers, and the entire morning shift is dedicated to female drivers only. And they are earning handsome amount. They are, they have invested in their education, like the kids' education. They are running their families. They are happy. I think it's a project that is close to my heart. And then we have established a daycare facility for them, the only daycare facility in the entire third party. So these two things are, I feel, feel very proud to be, part of such huge project, as Sabine mentioned, that this slogan we have, that Thar Badlindo Pakistan. So I think I feel happy and proud to be part of such huge project.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I'll move on to our next speaker, Nimra Hussain. So Nimra is Assistant Manager Environment, and she's at 1.5 years. Nimra, my question to you, what was your first reaction when you visited her site, and how has your learning working at a site as challenging as the third site? So over to you.
Hello, Nimra. Hello, everyone, all the listeners who are joining us on the Facebook pages. And so when I joined Engro last year in April, it was initially a tough decision for me to move to Engro. And I would like to say thanks to Aisha and the Women in Energy team for organizing this session. Because when I was joining last year, I was leaving a multinational company. So I had all these questions arising in my mind that whether it would be a right decision or not. But all those questions were just got answered when I visited the third site. I was not actually expecting, like I was expecting a minimal or the basic facility site with basic accommodation and facilities. But when I actually joined, I was literally amazed with the work that was done over here, the setup that is placed over here for all the employees and as well as the contractor setups that are here. So overall, it was an amazement for me because previously I worked on the remote sites as well. So I had a comparison in my mind from the multinational companies, from the fertilizer sector. But apart from all those things, the setup that is placed over here in the region of Tharparkar, in the desert region, it was really a phenomenal job done by obviously all of us. So that was the first reaction that I was not expecting, and it was beyond imagination. The second thing that the learning experience so far is concerned, so actually it's challenging. It's as challenging as obviously the side dynamics are, because the side jobs are not really considered for the girls. Being from engineering background, you're much aware about the ratio of the proportion of girls to boys in the sector, and particularly to the remote side. So the first fear in my mind was that would the environment be inclusive for me or not? How would I got adjusted? Because I joined just in the middle of pandemic, and I was the only girl when I joined the site. So I was really afraid of that. How would I get adjusted in this culture? How would I raise my problems and everything? But as all others are mentioned, the environment here is just as supportive and as inclusive for all of us that we never think of at least at this point, we never think of moving to any other organization at this moment, because the environment here as well just considers for your well-being, just considers for your needs, just mindful about the requirements of yourself. So these are all the things that bind us over here. And in every day literally, it was hectic timelines to share, to deliver the task on timelines without compromising on quality, without every day you were just supposed to come out of your comfort zone. So I think that was the best thing about my experience, that previously I was not much open to take the challenges. But after spending 1.5 years at Engro, I now don't hesitate to challenge my existing thresholds and to come out of my comfort zones to deliver and find out actually the best version of myself. So I think that's the summary of my experience with Engro.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much. What I'll do now is I'll keep the floor open for sort of a candid discussion that we can have. Would any of you like to have any sort of second comments? And Sabine, would you have anything to add to what you mentioned earlier?
Yes, actually, Nimra, when we talk of breaking barriers and encouraging other women to come and be a part of Engro or be a part of the big project that we are currently running over here in Tharparkar, I feel it is, good to mention that, Tharparkar is a place where you have lots of avenues which have still gone unexplored. I'd like to mention a few that I had, have the privilege to bring one here. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Perfect.
Oh, all right, okay, because I thought I was not audible. Right, okay, perfect. So, I'd like to mention a few things now. What I feel is that when it comes to Tharpakar, the best way to empower girls is through sports. And I actually took advantage of that. And back in, actually, when I joined in 2017, this was 15th February 2017. I remember the date because it was just the next day, after Valentine's. Um, I had initiated extracurricular activities in schools. And that actually became a big source of encouragement for the children and especially our girls. So we started off with karate, which was never explored over here. And in fact, till today, none of the schools in Block 2 or in Islampur or in Mitti offer this extracurricular activity. In addition to that, we also started off with football for girls. And you'd be happy to learn that, not only did we conduct our first inter-district under-13 female tournament, but two of our girls from Block 2 also had the privilege to to participate in Kothia World Cup. And we basically got the fair play trophy also. And then another thing that we did over here was basically encourage children to participate in drama. And I realized that through role play, our girls were being very, very vocal and were becoming very, very confident. And not only were the girls becoming confident, but their parents also. We also started the system of actually having formal parent-teacher meetings over here, which kind of educated the community. And in addition to that, we also empowered women by giving them the opportunity to open up their own catering services in the desert. Then we also had spellathon, so our children participated in activities where they were being encouraged academically also. And for all the services that we were providing to the children over here, I'm very happy to let you know that the state of Pakistan also basically appreciated the work that was being done in education. And for that, before last, I was awarded the Imtiaz, which was given to me last year. So I feel that there's a lot of opportunities for women, especially in Tharpakar, because the people of Sindh in general, and especially in Tharpakar, they give a lot of respect to women. And when you come there and you offer them things that would help them improve their lifestyles, because there's a lot of potential here. And students, I had a chance to work for Karachi Grammar School for a good 9 years. And I am not exaggerating when I say that the children of Tharpakar are far more bright than our children in the urban cities. And I feel that, if the children are given a lot of opportunities over here, they would definitely excel. And as I said that, there are many, many avenues over here which still need to be explored. I would encourage, women to come and be a part of this project, be a part of Engro, and see where they can actually, help in contributing through their expertise.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much. Ekta, can I move back to you for any sort of second and last comments on what would help candidates when they're inputs?
Yeah. Everyone can hear me, I guess. Am I audible? Okay. Oh, great. So I'll just take quickly 2 minutes and I'll highlight some things which will be very important for any girl or woman to apply. And I think that's one of the biggest worries that anyone has in terms of joining any organizations. What are the special programs we have for women? What is it that we do to support women, who are mothers or who have some kind of responsibilities at home in terms of providing care? I think we do support a daycare facility. I think it goes for all the women who have kids. Other than that, we have lots of other policies which are in place in terms of flexible working hours. I'm talking more on behalf of HR right now, but there are lots of policies that support women in all kinds of formats in terms of transportation. So, women are properly taken care of in terms of all the concerns that anyone has when joining an organization or, working for a corporate entity. how are we going to get there, how are we going to take care of a family. All of those things are already well thought of and taken care of, that I can assure you. Secondly, as Sabine said, Engro Energy is currently working towards helping a very important part of Pakistan, that is Tharpakar, and we have plants in other areas as well. So any one of you who would like to serve Pakistan and work for the betterment in terms of exploring and opportunities in such sectors, this is the place for you to apply. And that's why we encourage people who really have the intention to serve Pakistan. Lastly, just one bit on considering that I'm from the audit department, so I also want to highlight the fact that we have rigorous policies in place in terms of raising concerns. We have a complete different ethics and compliance department which takes care of any concerns that anyone might have, and it's completely confidential and anonymous. So, these are just very important things that any girl or any person who wants to join a new organization wants to ensure that once they are in the organization and they're facing any kinds of concerns or have issues, they are escalated properly and addressed in a timely manner. So these are a few things I think which will help people in deciding how they want to take their career forward in Engro, and should help them in applying for the current program that we are talking about.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to you, Nimra. Would you have any sort of last comments to add?
Thanks, Amira. So I just want to add in last that all the candidates who are sorting to apply or thinking to apply for this position really need to consider two things, that though the head office positions or the office-based positions are, the girls can look for those positions, but girls usually hesitate to move to site jobs and the site environment. So I just really want to emphasize on one thing, that Engro is one of very, very few companies in Pakistan who focus on the two things that I personally aspire for. One is the personal development of the candidate. So if you're joining Engro, make sure that if your current experience or current competence level is at this point, so after the end of your training, that would definitely reach to this level. So the personal development is one of the major things that we considers at Engro, and that is a good opportunity for you. And apart from that, the second thing that very, very few employers are currently considering at any workplace is the well-being part. Because at the remote location, one of the major things that that is considered is the well-being part, because we are living away from the hometown for continuous 14 or maybe 21 days. So well-being does matters the most and does contribute to the productivity, to our productivity. So these are the two things, and there are several initiatives that are taking place to address the well-being issues of employees. As Ekta mentioned, the Speak Out platform is there. We have a hiring of a particular trainer for us as well for addressing those well-being issues. So this is the right place to apply for, and this is the right place where you can excel yourself and you can polish your existing skills. So without hesitation of that how the site culture would be, how the head office people would be, and how inclusive is that or not, because these are the basic questions that I can understand the candidates does have, and the family restrictions they are there as well. So in terms of that, I can assure that the third site particularly is accompanied with all the basic facilities, with all the recreational facilities, and with all those things that are considered as, you can say, the luxuries. So all these are available here to all our employees, and that could make the experience of anyone comfortable, actually. So these are the last comments.
That sounds amazing. And just to from our side, so we are Women in Energy Pakistan. It's a professional network. We've been registered and in operation for the last 3 years. Everything that all the speakers have been saying today sort of confirms that there are excellent organizations in the energy sector in Pakistan that are actively more women leaders within the energy sector of Pakistan. And our collaboration with Engro Energy is a testament to that. And sort of just adding more from our side as well, that it's one thing to have more female engineers graduating from universities, but we see a pyramid graduating class translating into people joining organizations, and then also sort of their career progression through their as they sort of move up the organization. So Engro Energy seems to have sort of the right the sort of in place, and also the right incentives in place for females to go up that career ladder, and to also grow professionally, as well as sort of also have a very comfortable experience otherwise. So just to sort of reiterate that it's such a pleasure for Women in Energy Pakistan to collaborate with Engro Energy for this program, and we're very, very excited to see a large number of applicants for this program. And I think it's very, very useful for a lot of young graduates from currently working not just in Engro but also at the site. And I think that speaks volumes for you to be on this stage sharing your experiences with your faces with these young women. And I'm sure that adds a lot of value and a lot of weight to this experience. It's not just written on a paper by the Engro Corporation, but these are actual women and future women leaders in the energy sector of Pakistan. So that speaks volumes. And thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us today. That the deadline for this program, Engro Enablers Energy Edition, is the 29th of October. So do not miss this deadline. If questions, there are so many of us that are available to answer. Reach out to Engro, but also reach out to us at Women in Energy Pakistan. We're here to serve any women that are in the energy sector working in Pakistan. With that, I'll just ask if there's any last comment. If not, so much that I see. So thank you so much, Nimra, Sabine, and Ekta.
Thank you, Nimra.
Very much.
Thank you.